John had never known a life without luxury. Born into a wealthy family, he had grown up surrounded by all the comforts that money could buy. Private schools, designer clothes, exotic vacations, and expensive toys were all part of his childhood. As he grew older, he began to enjoy the privileges of wealth even more, acquiring fast cars, fine wines, and beautiful women. However, John's world was shattered when his parents died in a car accident. Suddenly, the fortune that had always seemed so secure was gone. John was left with a mountain of debt, a crumbling business empire, and a deep sense of despair. He felt as if his entire identity had been stripped away. One day, as he was wandering through the city, John stumbled upon a small poster advertising a Zen meditation retreat in the mountains. Intrigued, he impulsively decided to sign up, hoping to find some solace in the peace and quiet of nature. When he arrived at the retreat, he was surprised to find that it was led by an elderly Japanese man named Takashi, who spoke perfect English. Takashi was a master of Zen meditation, having spent decades in Japan studying under some of the most renowned teachers in the tradition. John was skeptical at first, but he was also desperate for some kind of guidance. He began to attend Takashi's daily meditation sessions and found that he enjoyed the stillness and silence of the practice. However, he struggled to quiet his racing thoughts and often found himself distracted by memories of his past life. Takashi was patient and kind, gently guiding John through the practice and encouraging him to let go of his attachment to his old way of life. He taught John about the impermanence of all things and the importance of living in the present moment. He also introduced John to the practice of mindfulness, showing him how to pay attention to his thoughts and emotions without getting lost in them. Over the weeks and months of intense practice, John gradually began to feel more at ease with himself and his surroundings. He found that he no longer needed the constant stimulation and distraction of his old life to feel happy. Instead, he began to appreciate the simple beauty of the mountains, the sound of the wind in the trees, and the taste of a bowl of rice. Takashi also helped John work through some of the deep emotional wounds that had been festering beneath the surface of his affluent lifestyle. They talked about John's relationship with his parents, which had been distant and strained, and Takashi encouraged him to forgive them and himself for past mistakes. Through meditation, John began to see that his identity was not defined by his wealth or possessions. He realized that he had been living in a kind of prison, trapped by his own fears and desires. Now, he felt a new sense of freedom and possibility. As the end of the retreat approached, John knew that he would soon have to return to the city and face the challenges that lay ahead. However, he felt more prepared than ever before. He knew that he had a new set of tools to help him navigate the ups and downs of life. He also felt a deep sense of gratitude for Takashi and the other people he had met at the retreat, who had helped him to open his heart and mind. When John returned to the city, he found that many things had changed. His business empire had crumbled, and he had lost many of his former friends and associates. However, he also found that he had a new sense of purpose. He began to volunteer at a local homeless shelter, using his skills and resources to help those in need. He also started a small business selling organic produce, which he grew in his own backyard. Through it all, John remained committed to his meditation practice, carving out time each day to sit in silence and reflect on the present moment. He found that even amidst the chaos of the city, he could find a sense of peace and clarity through his practice. As he continued to meditate and live a simpler, more mindful life, John found that his relationships with others began to improve. He was more patient and compassionate with his loved ones, and he was able to let go of grudges and resentment. He found that he was able to connect with others on a deeper level, sharing his experiences and wisdom with those who needed it most. Years later, as John looked back on his life, he realized that the greatest gift he had ever received was the opportunity to meditate with Takashi in the mountains. Through that experience, he had learned to live a life that was more fulfilling, more meaningful, and more connected to the world around him. And so, he continued to meditate, to learn, and to grow, grateful for the chance to live each day with a sense of purpose and gratitude.